Have you ever stood up from a chair and felt like your legs just weren't there for you? Maybe it wasn't always like that. Maybe there was a time when you climbed stairs without thinking, carried groceries without effort, walked through your home with ease. And now, bit by bit, that strength seems to have faded. Not all at once, just quietly, slowly, like sand slipping through your hands. It begins with the little things. Needing to push harder to get up from the couch, feeling unsteady after standing for too long, avoiding long walks, not because you're out of breath, but because your legs feel like they won't carry you. That once solid confidence replaced by a quiet, creeping doubt. And somewhere inside, a part of you starts wondering, is this just how it is now? Is this what aging feels like? But what if I told you, no, this is not just aging. This is muscle loss. And it's not only common, it's correctable. You see, what most people don't realize is that muscle loss isn't just something that happens after 60. It starts decades earlier. It builds up silently. And by the time you notice it in your legs, in the way you rise, in the way you walk, in the way you hesitate, your body's already been losing strength for years. But here's the truth. Doctors wish more people knew. You can rebuild muscle. Yes, even after 60, even after 70, even into your 80s and beyond. Your body is still capable of repair, still able to gain strength, still willing to work with you if you know how to listen to it. And that's exactly what this conversation is about. Because leg weakness is not just a nuisance, it's a warning. It's your body asking for help. It's a signal that something needs to change, not tomorrow, not when it gets worse, but today. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you won't just understand why your legs are getting weaker. You'll know exactly what to do about it. You'll learn 5 hidden reasons why so many people over 60 lose strength in their legs. You'll see how small changes in how you move, how you eat, how you support your body can make a big difference. You'll discover gentle habits to restore your balance, rebuild muscle, and walk with confidence again. This isn't about becoming an athlete. It's about getting back what time and habits quietly took away. It's about reclaiming the ability to move freely, to live independently, and to feel at home in your own body again. So please, if anything in this speaks to you, if you felt even a shadow of this in your own life, I invite you to stay with me. Watch to the end. Let's walk through this together. And if it resonates, if you feel a sense of yes, this is what I needed, don't hesitate to like, comment, or subscribe. It's not just for me. It's for the next person, someone like you who's quietly struggling and searching for the first step towards strength. Now, take a breath. Let your shoulders relax. Let that doubt fall away, even if just for a moment. Because you're about to learn not just how to stop muscle loss, but how to rebuild what truly matters. There's something that happens to the body as we age, something so subtle, so slow, that most people don't even realize it's happening until they feel it in their legs. It's called sarcopenia. A big word, I know. But behind it lies a simple truth. After the age of 30, your body naturally begins to lose muscle mass. Not because you're doing anything wrong, not because you've stopped exercising or eating right, but because your body, in its quiet way, starts shifting its priorities. And unless you intervene, unless you gently remind it that strength still matters, you can lose up to 30% of your muscle mass by your 80s. Think about that. Nearly a third of the strength that once held you upright, that once powered your legs through staircases, legs, hikes, dances, chores, that gave you the freedom to go anywhere, do anything, carry yourself without hesitation. That strength can quietly disappear. And most of the time, it starts in the legs. Why? Because your legs carry the weight of your life. Every step, every bend, every rise from a chair, every steady moment of balance when the world shifts beneath you. When your legs begin to weaken, everything changes, and what once felt effortless now feels uncertain. Maybe your thighs have grown thinner. Maybe your calves don't feel as solid as they used to. Maybe walking to the kitchen feels longer than it should. Maybe you feel it in the way you stand still, the subtle fatigue that wasn't there before. But let me tell you something important. Muscle loss is not permanent. You are not too old to rebuild. Your muscles are still listening. Even now, they're waiting for you to send a signal, a gentle, consistent message that says, "I'm not done. I still need you. Let's rebuild." And that message doesn't come from lifting heavy weights or running marathons. It comes from the simplest of actions, from rising slowly from a chair without using your hands, from standing near your kitchen counter and lifting one leg at a time, from doing small leg presses with a resistance band or holding a squat for just 5 seconds longer today than yesterday. And yes, from feeding your body the right way. Your muscles are made of protein, and after 60, your body doesn't absorb it as efficiently as it once did. That means you need a little more. Not a massive change, just intention. A couple of eggs in the morning, a handful of nuts in the afternoon, lean chicken, beans or lentils in your meals, Greek yogurt with a sprinkle of seeds. Real food, real fuel. You don't need to overhaul your life. You just need to start nudging your body back towards strength. Even 10 minutes of mindful movement a day can begin the process of rebuilding. 10 minutes of reminding your legs that they matter, that they're still yours, that they are not a lost cause, but a part of you that's ready to come back stronger. It may not feel like much at first. That's okay, because rebuilding isn't about speed, it's about presence, consistency. Choosing to move when your body whispers, "I'd rather sit." Choosing to stand a little taller, walk a little farther, breathe a little deeper. That's how muscle is rebuilt. Not in the gym, but in the quiet moments you choose yourself. And once you begin, once your legs start remembering their strength, you'll feel it. In your posture, in your balance, in the way you walk without second-guessing yourself, in the way you climb stairs without pausing, in the way you move through the world again, not as someone who's fading, but as someone who is returning to form. And that's just the beginning. Because muscle isn't the only thing your legs are missing. There are other silent thieves at work: circulation, nerves, even your spine, all of which play a part in your strength, and all of which can be gently restored. Let's keep walking. You're about to discover what else could be quietly draining the power from your legs, and what you can do to bring it back. But muscle loss isn't working alone. There's another silent force that weakens your legs from the inside out, and most people don't even realize it's happening. It begins when your blood, your life force, your delivery system for oxygen and nutrients, can't quite make the full trip to your lower limbs. You may feel it in your toes first, a coldness that lingers, a tingling, a vague heaviness after standing for a while. Or maybe you've noticed the cramps, tight, sharp pains in your calves after a walk, only relieved when you sit down. These aren't random. They're signs that blood isn't flowing the way it should, that the arteries bringing vital fuel to your legs are narrowing, stiffening, or getting blocked. It's called poor circulation, and it's one of the most common and overlooked reasons older adults lose leg strength. Without enough blood reaching your muscles, they can't work. They fatigue faster, recover slower, and slowly begin to shrink. Not because you're not using them, but because they're not being nourished. It's like trying to grow a garden without enough water. You do all the right things, plant, care, tend, but if the roots stay dry, the flowers never bloom. The same is true for your legs. But here's the good news. Even if circulation has slowed, it's not too late to bring it back. Movement is medicine. Something as simple as walking around the room every hour can kickstart the pump that gets blood flowing again. When your feet press against the ground and your calf muscles contract, they push blood upward, like squeezing a sponge. That pressure clears pathways, opens vessels, and tells your body, we still need this system running. You don't need to walk far. You just need to walk often. Even gentle pacing after meals, a slow stroll before bed, or a 5-minute stretch near a sunny window can make a difference. Water also matters more than most people think. Dehydration thickens the blood, slows down circulation, and makes your legs feel heavier. So sip throughout the day. Keep a glass nearby. Think of it not just as hydration, but as life moving back into your limbs. And then there's comfort. Elevating your legs for a few minutes, soaking them in warm water, gently massaging your calves. All these simple, comforting acts help blood its way again. And when it does, your legs begin to feel more awake, more capable, less like they're fading and more like they're returning. Because they are. You're not losing power for no reason. Your body is responding to what it needs, and once you start giving it that again, it will reward you with strength, with stability, with the quiet return of energy you didn't know was missing. And that's just one more step on this path back to yourself. But circulation isn't the only system that affects your legs. Sometimes the reason you feel unsteady or disconnected lies even deeper, down in the wiring that controls every movement you make. Let's explore that next. Sometimes it's not your muscles that are weak or your blood that's slow. It's the signal that gets lost. Imagine trying to turn on a lamp, but the wire between the switch and the bulb is frayed. You flick the switch, but nothing happens. Or worse, it flickers, comes on, then disappears. That's what happens when the nerves in your legs and feet begin to misfire. They stop delivering messages clearly. They go quiet, or they speak in a language of pain, burning, tingling, numbness, that strange sensation like you're walking on cotton or like the floor is shifting beneath you. That's not just in your head, it's your nerves calling for help. This condition is called peripheral neuropathy. And for many older adults, especially those with diabetes, prediabetes, or even just a long history of low vitamin B12, it's far more common than you'd think. The danger is that it creeps in slowly. You might not even notice it at first. Just a little numbness in the toes, a little imbalance when turning corners. But over time, the signals grow weaker, the disconnection deeper. And when your brain no longer gets clear messages from your feet and legs, your balance suffers. You stumble more easily, your steps grow hesitant. You no longer trust the floor because you can't fully feel it. But just like with muscles and blood flow, nerves too can be supported, soothed, and in some cases, regenerated. The first step is awareness. If you've noticed these sensations, especially in both feet or legs, don't ignore them. Don't chalk it up to just getting older. Because nerves are delicate, yes, but they're also responsive. When you give them what they need, consistently, they start to quiet their alarm bells. Start by nourishing them. Vitamin B12 is crucial for nerve repair, and many older adults are unknowingly deficient. Whether through food like eggs, fish, dairy, and leafy greens, or with a supplement your doctor recommends, feeding your nervous system is an act of restoration. If you have diabetes, keeping your blood sugar in range is one of the most powerful ways to protect your nerves. High sugar levels damage nerve fibers over time, so managing them isn't just about energy or weight, it's about preserving sensation, balance, and safety. Then there's the power of gentle touch. A warm foot soak, a simple massage with your hands or a soft cloth, even just rubbing lotion slowly into your calves and soles. These things aren't just comforting. They increase circulation, stimulate nerve endings, and help rebuild the body's awareness of its own limbs. And when your nerves begin to reconnect, even a little, something remarkable happens. You start to feel more in your body again. You walk with more trust. You move with more clarity. And that fear, that deep, quiet fear of losing your footing, begins to loosen its grip. The truth is, your nervous system is part of the invisible architecture that keeps you steady in the world. And when you support it, even in small ways, you're not just restoring sensation, you're restoring confidence. And that confidence becomes motion, and that motion becomes freedom. But nerves aren't the only link between your legs and your brain. There's a highway of connection that runs right through your spine. And when that highway gets blocked, compressed, or twisted, even slightly, it can change the way your legs work entirely. Let's explore that next. Sometimes, it's not your muscles that are weak or your blood that's slow, it's the signal that gets lost. Imagine trying to turn on a lamp, but the wire between the switch and the bulb is frayed. You flick the switch, but nothing happens. Or worse, it flickers, comes on, then disappears. That's what happens when the nerves in your legs and feet begin to misfire. They stop delivering messages clearly. They go quiet, or they speak in a language of pain, burning, tingling, numbness, that strange sensation like you're walking on cotton or like the floor is shifting beneath you. That's not just in your head, it's your nerves calling for help. This condition is called peripheral neuropathy. And for many older adults, especially those with diabetes, prediabetes, or even just a long history of low vitamin B12, it's far more common than you'd think. The danger is that it creeps in slowly. You might not even notice it at first, just a little numbness in the toes, a little imbalance when turning corners. But over time, the signals grow weaker, the disconnection deeper. And when your brain no longer gets clear messages from your feet and legs, your balance suffers. You stumble more easily. Your steps grow hesitant. You no longer trust the floor because you can't fully feel it. But just like with muscles and blood flow, nerves, too, can be supported, soothed, and in some cases regenerated. The first step is awareness. If you've noticed these sensations, especially in both feet or legs, don't ignore them. Don't chalk it up to just getting older. Because nerves are delicate, yes, but they're also responsive. When you give them what they need, consistently, they start to quiet their alarm bells. Start by nourishing them. Vitamin B12 is crucial for nerve repair, and many older adults are unknowingly deficient. Whether through food like eggs, fish, dairy, and leafy greens, or with a supplement your doctor recommends, feeding your nervous system is an act of restoration. If you have diabetes, keeping your blood sugar in range is one of the most powerful ways to protect your nerves. High sugar levels damage nerve fibers over time, so managing them isn't just about energy or weight, it's about preserving sensation, balance, and safety. Then there's the power of gentle touch. A warm foot soak, a simple massage with your hands, or a soft cloth, even just rubbing lotion slowly into your calves and soles. These things aren't just comforting. They increase circulation, stimulate nerve endings, and help rebuild the body's awareness of its own limbs. And when your nerves begin to reconnect, even a little, something remarkable happens. You start to feel more in your body again. You walk with more trust. You move with more clarity. And that fear, that deep, quiet fear of losing your footing, begins to loosen its grip. The truth is, your nervous system is part of the invisible architecture that keeps you steady in the world. And when you support it, even in small ways, you're not just restoring sensation, you're restoring confidence. And that confidence becomes motion, and that motion becomes freedom. But nerves aren't the only link between your legs and your brain. There's a highway of connection that runs right through your spine. And when that highway gets blocked, compressed, or twisted, even slightly, it can change the way your legs work entirely. Let's explore that next. Not all weakness comes from the big, visible systems. Sometimes, the thing stealing your strength is almost invisible, microscopic even. It hides in what you eat, in how much water you drink, in the medications you take, and in the quiet signals your body sends that are easy to ignore until they become too loud to overlook. If you've ever had a sudden leg cramp in the middle of the night, if your legs have felt shaky, twitchy, or weak without explanation, if you've stood up and felt a strange electric discomfort in your calves or thighs, you may be experiencing something very simple but very real, an electrolyte imbalance. Electrolytes are minerals like magnesium, potassium, and sodium that your body needs to function properly. They help your muscles contract. They keep your heart beating in rhythm. They move signals through your nerves. And when they fall out of balance, even just a little, everything begins to feel off. Your muscles might spasm. Your legs might tremble. You might feel tired even when you haven't done much. And if you're over 60, the truth is, your body is more sensitive to these changes than ever before. Why does it happen? Sometimes it's dehydration, simply not drinking enough water to keep everything circulating smoothly. Sometimes it's medication, especially diuretics or blood pressure pills that flush minerals out of your system. Sometimes it's just not eating enough of the right foods, those leafy greens, colorful fruits, seeds, beans, and whole grains that naturally replenish what the body uses every day. The tricky part is, most people don't know they're low in magnesium or potassium until their legs start talking. That cramp that wakes you up from a deep sleep, that unexplained weakness after a hot afternoon, that sense that your legs feel heavy, tired, or slightly shaky without reason. These are whispers from your body, and the good news is, you can answer them. You can start by sipping more water throughout the day, not in big gulps, but in small, steady amounts. Think of it as giving your body the river it needs to move minerals to the muscles that need them most. Then bring those minerals in. Bananas, oranges, avocados, spinach, sweet potatoes, these aren't just healthy foods, they're your natural pharmacy. For magnesium, turn to almonds, dark chocolate, beans, pumpkin seeds, even a few squares of 70% cacao after lunch. These foods don't just nourish, they repair, regulate, and restore. And if the cramps keep coming, there's an old-fashioned remedy that still works wonders, a warm bath with Epsom salts before bed. The magnesium seeps in through your skin, relaxing your muscles from the outside in. It's simple, it's gentle, and for many, it brings the kind of relief that feels like a sigh from deep within the legs. You don't need extreme measures, you need consistency, attention, a willingness to support your body with what it quietly craves. Because when your electrolytes are balanced, your muscles don't just work better, they feel more stable, more responsive, more yours. And when your muscles, nerves, spine, blood, and minerals all begin to align again, when you start giving your body what it truly needs, the result is something we sometimes forget to expect as we age: strength. Not the kind that lifts heavy things, the kind that lifts you back into your day, back into motion, back into life. And it begins, always, with the decision to act. Now that you've seen the 5 reasons your legs may be growing weaker and what you can do to change that, let's take one more step together toward the most important truth of all, that rebuilding isn't about going backward, it's about moving forward with power, presence, and peace. So here we are. You've walked with me through the quiet truth behind your legs growing weaker. Not just aging, not just getting old, but a combination of things your body has been trying to tell you, gently, subtly, sometimes even urgently. And maybe, for the first time in a while, you see it clearly. The loss of muscle that didn't have to be permanent, the blood flow that could return with a little more movement, the nerves that just needed some nourishment, the spine asking to be freed, the minerals your muscles have been whispering for. It wasn't one big thing, it was many small things, all piling up, slowly shifting your body away from strength. But now you know, and knowledge, when paired with intention, becomes something beautiful. It becomes power, the kind of power that doesn't shout, it doesn't rush, it simply chooses day after day to move in the right direction. And that's what I want for you. Not a sprint, not a miracle, just a quiet, confident return to yourself. One thoughtful walk around your home, one meal with more protein, one glass of water, one stretch before bed, one moment where you decide, I still have time, I still have strength, I'm not finished. Because you're not. You were never meant to grow old in stillness. You were meant to keep moving, with grace, with intention, with wisdom. To enjoy the freedom of walking without fear, to stand tall not just in posture, but in presence. To take back what time and hesitation may have borrowed, and to do it at your own pace, in your own way. So I invite you gently, sincerely, to begin. Choose one thing today that helps your body feel stronger. Just one. And let that be your first step. And if this journey has meant something to you, if it's reminded you of what's possible, I'd love for you to let me know. Leave a comment. Tell me what part spoke to you most. Share this with someone who needs hope, just like you did. And if you haven't already, subscribe, because we're not done walking together. You're rebuilding muscle, yes, but more than that, you're rebuilding belief. And I'm so proud of you for that.